Hey, ladies. Tonight's discussion is all about mortgages going up. We thought that mortgages were supposed to be stable, but they're going up for people. You all know I am a licensed mortgage loan officer in the states of Virginia, Maryland, and DC. And I wanted to come and shed a little bit of life on this or light on this topic that is happening on TikTok. So we're going to start with our 90-second intro, give people a chance to come in. And then I am going to start the broadcast for the evening. Here goes 90 seconds. Welcome to Black Women Making Money. We are the home of the upwardly mobile Black woman. For exclusive content and invitations to our Inner Circle Zoom meetings, which happen on a monthly basis, you can sign up for free for our email newsletter at bwmakingmoney.com. That's bwmakingmoney.com. Good evening, everybody. If you are looking to build wealth through the power of a home, you are in the right place. There has been a trend on TikTok all about mortgages going up, and people are surprised that mortgages are going up. You know, they sign up for a fixed rate mortgage, and yet their mortgage goes up. And I wanted to come and address this as a licensed mortgage loan officer. I watched two of the TikToks. I heard immediately what the problem was. And I want people to know uh, what is happening from a licensed professional's point of view, some of the things that you want to ask up front, so that way you are not caught holding the bag like these individuals are. But before I do that, everybody give me a thumbs up, please. Give your girl a thumbs up. If you're listening to the replay, put replay in the discussion so that way YouTube can know you like this content. And if you are familiar with your Rich BFF, she has a book called Rich AF, and we are going to have a discussion about her $25 million wealth plan. We're going to talk about it from our point of view. So, no, Rich BFF will not be there herself. However, if you are really into her content, or even if you're not into her content, you just want to kind of talk about becoming rich AF from our point of view, the discussion is happening on Sunday, April 14th, 6 p.m. And the only way you can get an invitation is if you join our email list at bwmakingmoney.com, bwmakingmoney.com. It is totally free to be a part of this discussion. We do these once a month. I'm actually doing them about once every 6 weeks just because my schedule is cray, but wanted to let everybody know that that is an option for you. So, hello, Torrin Dreams. Welcome. So, I saw this come up in my YouTube feed about, this black woman saying, "Hey, my mortgage went up $1,000." And it seemed to be a TikTok compilation of people saying that their mortgages have gone up. And I got interested because you all know I am in the mortgage business. And I'm like, did you sign an ARM? What's going on? An ARM is an adjustable rate mortgage. Well, that wasn't quite what happened with this first lady. So I want to have her tell her story. And what I don't want is I don't want Black people, Black women in particular, to become scared of home ownership because of these TikToks that are going around. We as Black people have the least amount of wealth, and the majority of people get their wealth through home ownership. So I do own a home. I am in the mortgage business, but even more than me being, I'm not selfish with regards to this. I'm not doing this for self serving purposes. I know the power of home ownership, even though it can be crazy because, if something breaks, it's on you. But a renter cannot go and get $100,000, $200,000 home equity line of credit on their apartment that they are renting. So there are positives, and yeah, there are some drawbacks with regards to home ownership. So I wanted to specifically talk about this topic here this evening. And this topic is all about some TikTok rants about the housing crisis and, in particular, mortgages going up. So, um, we are going to watch this. We want to thank this content creator, Dee's African Perspective, for putting this together for us because you all know I'm not on TikTok. But shout out to Dee's African Perspective and thank you for this content creator for bringing this over from TikTok to YouTube so your girl Cherie can comment on it. Let's see what this young lady is saying.
My mortgage went up $1,000 and I am not okay. So let me tell you guys, for the longest time, people be screaming from the hilltop, home ownership is not it. Like, don't rush, don't rush. And I will just be like, I don't understand it because I'm literally chilling, like cheaper than rent. I was bamboozled. So let me tell y'all what they do not tell y'all about real estate. So they do an analysis every year from at least with the mortgage that I got, right? And so they did an analysis and basically my mortgage increased by $1,000.
Okay, so yes, they do an analysis every year. If you have a fixed rate mortgage, your principal, so a mortgage is made up of four things, really five things: principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and any HOA or condo fees. If you have a fixed rate mortgage, your principal and interest will not go up. It will not go up. However, every year your real estate taxes go up, your your insurance may or may not go up, and your HOA fees or condo fees may or may not go up. So if she starts talking, she is going to admit that she bought a new built home. So she basically bought a home that was built from the ground up. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more. And they ended up increasing her real estate taxes. And I think that she probably had to pay some taxes in arrears as well. But let's keep listening to her story because this is important with regards to educating ourselves in the housing purchase and maintenance process. So let's keep listening.
And I asked them why. And they were like, something about my house is a new build. And so I guess they charged me for the taxes when it was just the land for 2 years. Then after year two, they add the taxes with the house actually on it.
So let me tell you right now, I am closing a house just like this. The house is prayerfully going to close on Friday. The lender knew that this house was a new build. I'm the broker. The lender is working with the title company in order to figure out what the taxes should be. Lender says to the title company for this new build on my client's behalf, we know that the real estate taxes are X number of dollars today, let's say $20, right? But the lender says, but we know that that was before the new build was actually done. So, what are going to be the taxes after the county accounts for the construction of the home and what the home is going to be worth? Her lender failed her. Her broker failed her and her lender failed her. So her mortgage is going up not because of the principal and interest, because if she had purchased a regular schmegular home that was already built 10 years ago, 20 years ago, she would not have run into this issue. And I'm not blaming this young lady. I am blaming her lender for not catching this and her title company for not catching this. They didn't catch this on her behalf. But that is what happened with her. And she's going to admit this as well. So let's keep listening.
And they were like, yeah, your builder is supposed to tell you. They didn't. They didn't. And so I asked them, can I sell the house?
Oh, and let me say this as well. Oftentimes, builders have their own in house loan officers. Builders will have their own in house loan officers as well. And that builder, um, their ability to maintain their credit with the bank depends on their ability to sell those houses as quickly as possible. So I'm not saying that her lender did anything funky with her, but sometimes these builders, the lenders that work with these builders specifically, they um they don't always dot every I and cross every T. So, Torian Dream saying that video from yesterday was everything. Oh, thank you. I just closed on a property I'm going to use for senior living. Good for you. Good for you. Can't wait to see what Q2 brings. So, I have a client who is closing her house tomorrow, and she's doing an assisted living as well. So, congratulations. Hello, Coach K. Business Connections is in the house. Yes, I am good. I am good. Coach K, I'm waiting for you to have your event. You said you're going to have your event this spring. Um, if not, then at least invite me to your little, not your little, I shouldn't say your little, your sessions that you're having on Zoom, because I saw the little clips and I'm like, I would have attended, but I didn't know. So you gotta, if I'm not on your email list, put me on your email list, please. Rana is in the building. How is school going, Rana? Hello, hello. Um, yes, they all do. Yeah, they all review every, so the builders when you buy a new build, you have to really know what you're doing because they will not necessarily disclose everything to you. Um, Business Connections saying, when I was looking for a home, they only introduced us to their lenders. Exactly. Exactly. They will. So you have to be careful with new builds. And so many of us, we want to live the high life. And I'm not saying that we should live in the gutter. I'm not saying that at all. But one of the good things about me purchasing a house that was constructed in 1996 is I didn't have the issue with the huge, real estate tax bill going up. Our tax bill, our real estate tax bill went up about $50 over the past year or so. Now, my real estate taxes, because our house has gone up, appreciated quite a bit over the past 2 years. Over the next 3 years, the state sent us something saying that our assessment is going up. But guess what? We've got equity in this house. And, I don't want to tell all my business, but it's multiple six figures of equity in this house. One of the things that they teach us as loan officers is to say to somebody, where would you get an $80,000 bonus or raise from your job within a year and a half? Yet, if you buy a property today, for example, and in a year and a half, it's worth another $80,000, all of a sudden, you've got additional wealth that you're able to add to your balance sheet. Depending on your credit report and things like that, you can take that money out. for a HELOC, invest, do other things with it, etc. So, and thank you for adding me to the list. So yeah, this is look, I just don't want people to be afraid of home ownership. And everybody, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button for me. School is great. Good, good. Fantastic. Right. The new builds will get you in a house on damn near a handshake. That is true because they are trying to get those homes off the books. Our area is growing and our county is growing. Yeah, that Great Wolf Lodge, Coach K, that Great Wolf Lodge added a lot in this area. Let's keep listening here.
And they were like, there's no equity in it.
So she wanted to buy, sorry, she's decided, okay, I want to sell this house. And they said there's no equity in it. They're telling her there's no equity in it because she probably bought, if the house was valued at 500,000, she probably got 100% mortgage, or close to it. Maybe she put down 2%, 3%. There are some, depending on the type of program that you could get in with hardly any money down, etc. So she didn't live in there long enough. So she wants to sell the property now, and she can't because there's no equity in it. The reason that they're saying there's no equity in it is because if she were to sell the property, she would have to have a realtor work with her, let's say, unless she does for sale by owner, but let's say she's going to have a realtor actually help her sell that property, then she has to pay uh, real estate fees, commissions, in order to help sell that property. So, unfortunately, she didn't have all of the information as she bought that new build.
You guys see me smiling, but come next month, I'm literally going to be in tears.
I don't blame her. She's going to be in tears for an extra $1,000 a month. Most people can't handle a $400 a month emergency, much less $1,000 a month of extra mortgage. And people were saying, some people were saying, well, if you had a man, you know, if you had a man, if she had a man, that doesn't necessarily mean that he would have known to ask those questions. If she had a man, that doesn't necessarily mean that he would have another $1,000 a month to put towards the mortgage. So that's not the answer, in my opinion. That's not the answer. Hey, Brian's Tax, good to see you. Hey, Dawn to Earth. Hello, hello. Okay, but this is a great question here. If you had to come up with an extra $1,000 a month for housing costs, could you do it? Could you do it? Could she maybe rent out a portion of her house? Could she rent out the basement? Could she um, could she start a side hustle to bring in $1,000 a month? Now's the time to be creative. It's really the time. Now I can understand it. If somebody came to me and said your mortgage is going to be an extra $1,000 a month, I'd be crying too. But then you put your big girl panties on. You're like, okay, I got to be creative. I got to be creative. So yeah, having a man is not the answer. Sometimes we men don't know something. Look, people don't know things. So, yeah, having a man, and I'm so glad that you're saying this, Coach K, because it's true. Having a man is not the answer. Having competent counsel when it comes to uh, lenders and when it comes to title companies and when it comes to realtors, that is the answer. So maybe if you're looking at a new home build, you ask your realtor, how many of these have you sold in the past? What are some of the things that people have gotten caught up with? You ask, maybe instead of going to the lender that the builder suggests, you go to an outside mortgage broker and say, hey, what are some of the things I need to look out for in this scenario? How many of these have you closed? How many of these have you closed and you've actually kept up with the person 2, 3, 4 years later to see how they're doing in their home? This is about us getting responsible and, responsible and knowledgeable counsel from real advisors when it comes to this. Dawn Earth is saying, Lord, if she had a man, she might still be crying. That's the truth. That's the truth. He may not be able to help her. Turning Dreams saying if she Ubers on the weekend, she can make that money. Absolutely. She could probably do a lot of different things in order to make an additional $1,000 a month. This is where you become creative. You would definitely try that. Ubering? Okay. She better do Uber $250 a week. See, one of the things about Uber, though, is that people oftentimes don't count the expenses with regards to gas, with regards to wear and tear on your property, etc. This young lady, she looks like an upwardly mobile young lady. If she had a specific skill, I might say, hey, why don't you get on Fiverr? Why don't you get on Upwork? Why don't you go to some networking events and try to find some clients that would give you gig work? Something like that, you know? So, yeah, you could Uber, but there could be other ways for her to make that money without as many expenses. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know if Uber pays $1,000 a month. I don't know. I don't know. I think there are other ways. Coach K could talk about this as well. Rent the basement for $1,200 to $1,500. Yeah. Especially depending on where she lives, there may be somebody, could be a student, could be a nurse, could be somebody else who would say, okay, I'll come and rent the basement from you. I'll come and rent the basement from you. There are other skills that you can have as well. And this is a great thing. If you had an expense where you had to pay an additional $1,000 a month, could you pay an extra $1,000 a month? What are some of the things you could start now? You're my ladies. You always know. You always know that I'm asking you these questions. Are there side gigs you could start now and should start now, so that way you could stack up more money? Or, or now this is not something she could do within a month, but if she had enough notice, could she get another certification or something like that in order to change jobs, in order to level up, etc.? She needs a new side gig or develop a new skill. Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree. I think that there are easier ways for a young lady like this. I don't know her, but just based on her look, I think there are easier ways besides Uber for her to make money. I do. She could Airbnb it. There's also things called midterm rentals as well. If you all are on my main YouTube channel, my Cherie channel, um, I interviewed a woman named Jamie Banks. She actually is a specialist in doing medium term rentals. Medium term rentals are super cool. It's for people who are staying between 30 days and like 9 or 10 months. So that's like your contract nurses that need to stay someplace 6 months, or somebody who uh, is student housing is medium term rentals, things like that. And Jamie knows how to vet people with regards to somebody being in your house, for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, etc. So, and those individuals tend to pay more. So sometimes some of these people who are, Jamie was telling me, people who do content creation, and we call it the laptop entrepreneurs. That's what it is. They do medium term rentals as well. So Brian's text saying, I worked at Wendy's after my corporate job in Circle K every night from 5 to 11 and weekends to get an extra $1,000 a month. Yeah, look, sometimes you just have to put your pride aside and make it work. Will this be an issue with homes that are not new builds? No, typically no. So I was saying, and hey, not my gumdrops buttons. I was saying that I bought my house in 2018. Our house was built in 1996 with a mortgage. So let me start all over again for everybody. With a mortgage, there are various parts to your mortgage. Your mortgage usually includes your principal and interest. If you have a fixed rate mortgage, that principal and interest stays the same for 30 years. Also, within your mortgage, you have your real estate taxes. Your real estate taxes go up a little bit every year unless you get a new build. Okay. Next, you will also have your homeowner's insurance. Your homeowner's insurance goes up a little bit every year as well. Okay. And then you may also have your HOA or condo fees. That may go up a little bit each year as well. So with my house, I don't live in an HOA area, but my taxes and insurance went up together, combined like another $50 the year after I purchased this property. It was actually 2 years after I purchased this property. So, another $50 a month for my mortgage, it really was the taxes and insurance. But no, so I was explaining to everybody before with the new builds, oftentimes these builders are on the hook with the bank to get those houses built and get them off their balance sheets. They need to sell those houses as quickly as possible. Oftentimes, these builders will hire lenders to work with them, and all they care about is getting the commission check and getting those houses sold. So, with the new build, what happened was when she purchased the house, let's say the taxes for that house were just $200, right? Because it was just the land. So they said, great, taxes are $200. Well, 2 years later, they every year they reassess your taxes, your insurance, and any HOA fees you have. So 2 years later, they look back and they say, oh, well, now the real estate taxes are $6,000 a year, but you haven't been paying $6,000 a year for the last 2 years. So now we're going to catch you up with these real estate taxes. And that, I believe, well, she actually said it's because of the taxes that that her mortgage went up. I believe she probably had some back payments to make as well, and she probably could have even had some penalties as well. Um, so would this be an issue with not new builds? No, but your taxes and insurance may still go up another $20, $50 um, a year, sorry, a month. So you just need to know that, like today, if you bought a house and it's $2,000 a month, next year you may be paying $2,050 a month. So just kind of keep that in mind. Crystal's saying she can make money doing hair, making meals, being a tutor. Exactly. So yeah, for medium-term rentals, traveling medical professionals and students, absolutely. So she could offer her basement to people who want to do medium-term rentals. Sometimes those individuals like to have a separate entrance, but girl, if you got a new build, then so you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, let's keep watching because I would be crying too if if my mortgage was going up $1,000 a month. But let's keep listening here.
because $1,000 extra a month, I legit want to move back home and live with my parents. But I don't have that option. I'm sick. Like, I'm sick. Honestly, don't buy a house if you're single. Like, buy a
That's not the answer. Don't buy a house if you're single is not the answer. Suppose you're going to be single into your 40s, 50s, and 60s. You're supposed to wait around. You're supposed to wait around for Prince Charming. You're supposed to wait around for a man in order to start building wealth. That's not the answer. The answer is to get competent counsel.
house when there's two incomes coming in because, baby, you gonna need it.
And just because you have two incomes coming in doesn't mean the man isn't racking up a whole lot, or I'm just saying man. Doesn't mean the other person isn't racking up a whole bunch of debt. And when that extra $1,000 bill comes due, it doesn't mean he's going to be able to help you. So there's this old saying, a man is not a plan. It is the truth. Yeah. And some of these women are saying this as well. That's what they say. That doesn't make any sense. So, all right. I don't remember listening to this lady, so let's listen to her. Let's see what she says.
My freaking mortgage went up almost $3,000.
Okay, so first of all, nice poolside, ladies, right? Based on this ambiance, nice poolside, nice pool. She got the cabana in the back. This does not look like a regular schmegular townhouse. Okay, I know, I'm being judgy, and it's not to judge, it's just to give some context here. Gorgeous pool, gorgeous pool. Oops, gorgeous pool, but yeah, $3,000. So her mortgage is going up $3,000. This is probably $1 million plus house. I don't know where it's located, but just based on this ambiance, we're looking at $1 million plus house. I haven't listened to this before, so let's hear what she has to say.
2903 to be exact. Yep.
So her mortgage is going up $2,900, $2,903. Okay, let's keep listening.
So I'm pissed. I'm mad. I'm upset. And I am thankful to God that I am able to pay it. I truly am. And Jesus, I am not complaining. I am just explaining. Okay. So hear me out. I'm upset because it's like, I feel like, what about the other people who can't pay, who are on a fixed income? So you mean to tell me your mortgage is a set amount every month? You're paying it, you're paying it, you're paying it. Then all of a sudden, insurance rates rise, property taxes go up. So now you've got this huge amount that you owe.
Okay, let's talk about this. That is to be expected. When we do, okay, so everybody, as you all are coming in, don't forget, if you don't know, we're having the Rich AF discussion Sunday, April 14th, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to look at the Rich BFF, her $25 million wealth plan. If you're not on my email list, you need to get on my email list, bwmakingmoney.com. bwmakingmoney.com. You will receive the Zoom link tomorrow, and you'll receive it a few more times in order to participate. One of the things that Vivian says in that $25 million wealth plan discussion that she had is if you are not getting a certain amount of money as a raise every year, then you are doing things wrong. If you're not getting a raise every year, like a specific percentage, we'll go over and listen to what she said in our Zoom discussion. You're doing it wrong. If you need to switch jobs, if you're not switching jobs she says every 2 years, I say every 2 to 4 years, you're doing things wrong. When you buy a home, you need to expect for taxes to go up. You need to expect for insurance to go up. Why would you think you're going to remain in a house and have the same $2,000 mortgage every single month? Now, why her mortgage went up $3,000 a month, we'll continue listening to the story. There's probably more to the story than this. However, we have to be smart as upwardly mobile Black women. Is our money increasing every single year? Hey, Tam, good to see you. Hey, Denise. Yeah, definitely catch the broadcast. You like the Rich BFF. So I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm a 7 with her. I do like her. Actually, I do like her. But I thought there was some interesting, I don't listen to her a lot. I should say it like that. I don't listen to her a lot. And it's just because, I just don't. But I think that what she has built is great. I think that a lot of the advice she has is great, and I think that would be a great discussion for us to have. Dawn Earth is saying, when I get back on my feet, I'm moving a little downstate to the state capital. The cost of living is 20% cheaper as well. And here's the thing. We're talking about these mortgages going up like rent ain't going up. We're talking about these mortgages going up like rent is not going up. Everything is going up. It's inflation, baby. It's inflation. We have to expect that. If we're going to be upwardly mobile Black women, we got to be in the game. Coco Tiger says, seems like she stays in a really nice area. I would be surprised if that's not $1 million house. Just looking at the pool and looking at the palm trees in the background, I'd be surprised if that's not $1 million house. I want to continue listening to what she has to say because I think there's more to the story here. And yeah, her property values are probably, everybody's property value went up. If you bought before 2020, everybody's property value went up. You want to read her book? Yeah, we'll probably do a book club around it as well. Not for April, but maybe for May or June. Things are so expensive these days. I'm thinking of doing a pre-dental track when I go to college. When dental school is so expensive, hopefully I can get my in-state dental school since it's cheap. If you are an upwardly mobile Black woman, I would love to see what kind of scholarships are available for you, grants, things like that. Definitely take a look at that. There is a woman named Dr. Pamela. Oh darn. I'm drawing Dr. Pamela. I can't remember her name now, but she helps people get scholarships to college. If you email me, bwmakingmoney@gmail.com, I'll find her name, Dr. Pamela something. I can't remember right now, but email me and let's see if we can get you a scholarship, my dear. We need more Black women dentists. So yeah, we need to be switching up jobs. Yes, you should not be stagnant. I'm happy to say she can afford it, but I keep thinking that could be $3K to invest. Yeah, well, she's investing in her house. I wonder how much additional equity this woman has. Does she have $500,000 in equity? That's a nice house she has. So when I first moved to my house with tax 1,500, 10 years later, it's 4,000. Yeah, look, this is the game. But here's the thing, the difference between 4,000 and 1,500, $3,500. Here's the thing. If you were renting someplace, would you be paying more than an additional $3,500? And would you have the equity in the houses? Do you see why so many private equity companies are gobbling up single family houses? There's a stat that says that I think by 2030, 40% of the houses, the single family houses, are going to be owned by private equity. They ain't doing it for their health. They're doing it because that's where the money is. That's where the money is. We just have to be smart and conscious as we're buying these homes. Yeah, everybody's rent is up. Everybody's rent is up. It's high. I was speaking to a woman whose rent is going up from $900 to $2,300. I was like, damn, really? She said, yes. What are you going to do? I'm leaving. So, yeah, get on that scholarship hunt. So, oops. Yep, I was competing with Open Door for the property I just bought. Yeah, look, Open Door is out there buying up big time. These private equity companies are buying up big time. They are buying up big time because that's where the money is. That's where the wealth is being created, ladies. Let's keep listening to this young lady.
All of a sudden, and your escrow's in the negative, and I understand it'll go back to.
Oh, so here, she just said it. The escrow is in the negative. That is why her mortgage is going up so much. The escrow is, The escrow is so this is when you are purchasing the property initially. I don't know if this is a new build or not that she bought. And then number two, the servicer that she's using and just making sure that that servicer is keeping up with her real estate taxes every 6 months. Every year they often what do you call it? Recalculate your escrow.
Not exactly normal or back to the original payment because it will be slightly higher, but it will adjust itself once it's paid. I get that. But it's so excessive to me that it's bothering me. My concern is this: what's it going to stop it from continuing to rise? What's the end game here? What protections do we have? I did file for my homestead exemption, and most of you who don't know homestead exemption, it truly helps you with the taxable amount of your home. So let's just say your home is $500,000, $500,000. You will only be taxed at $450,000. Once you file that once, you do not have to file it ever again, as long as it's your primary home. And if it's not your primary home, I think the maximum you can get is $25,000. Only.
Yes, I don't know about it not being your primary home, but if it is your primary home, then yes, there are more favorable rates if it's your primary home versus an investment property. That is true.
Option is to shop around for new insurance. I actually have the lowest rate. What are we supposed to do? Just hand them the Vaseline? Just let them keep charging us?
No, you level up your money. You level up your money. Okay, we're going to talk about the HOA thing. I see Rana saying it's best to avoid an HOA. I'm going to disagree. Okay, let's talk about HOAs. So here's there are positives and negatives to HOAs. And one of the young ladies here is going to talk about her HOA. But here's the one positive about an HOA. It helps to keep your home values up. The Homeowners Association helps to keep your home values up. You need a good Karen on the HOA in order to say to people, no, you can't have your broken down car with oil dripping all over the place. No, you have to cut your grass, mow your lawn. Yeah, we know that you came from some third world country, but you can't have your chickens running all over the neighborhood. I'm serious, right? So HOAs serve their purpose in keeping home values where you want them to be, and it makes the neighborhood nice as well. No, you cannot blast your music at midnight. The HOA, especially if there's a good Karen on the HOA, people are able to, like, instead of, one person being quote unquote the bad guy or the bad person, an HOA can be under that corporate umbrella to say, these are the rules of the neighborhood so that our neighborhood property values can remain where they are supposed to be. We are going to get to an HOA story here. An HOA does have the right to foreclose on your property. Yes, it is true. If you are late in paying your HOA fees, which is why, for the most part, your mortgage broker, your mortgage lender is going to take the HOA fees with your mortgage so that they can make sure that those HOA fees are paid. Also, if you break certain ordinances and certain rules, the HOA can foreclose on you. Yes, they can. I'm not saying the HOAs are squeaky clean. I am saying if you live in a neighborhood with an HOA, you might want to join the HOA, at least for a couple of years, so that you can know the people on the HOA board. But do I have to say we kind of, especially some of the neighborhoods we live in, we kind of want an HOA to make sure it doesn't turn into the hood? Do I have to say that? I know that's a mean thing to say. I shouldn't say that. It keeps our property values up, ladies. Yes, the HOA stops people from painting their houses crazy colors. Yes, exactly. The HOA stops some crazy person from, the what do you call it? The car doesn't have any tires on it and it's on the 4 cinder blocks. The HOA prevents the person who has the dog from not cleaning up, for that person not cleaning up their dog's poop as they're walking around the neighborhood. So there are, as long as you have a reasonable HOA, there are good aspects to an HOA, ladies. Especially if you live in a neighborhood that has a lot of townhouses and things like that. I'm not telling you to um, purchase a home in an HOA. I'm telling you, don't be afraid of an HOA. So Business Connection saying they keep the community value up. Yes, they do. We don't need people parking cars on the lawn. Exactly. The HOA stops that. And yeah, people will paint their doors any colors. Yes, please. Everybody get the likes up. Please get the likes up. Um, can't the costs escalate with them as well? Yes, they can, which is why you want to be on the board of the HOA. You do expect your HOA fees to increase a little bit, but they shouldn't go crazy. The other thing about the HOA is if you have areas that are common areas, like there's a median in the street and that lawn needs to be mowed, the HOA actually is responsible for mowing that lawn. If the city is not responsible for it, there are sometimes certain some communities have like community rooms and things like that, little event centers, etc. The HOA is responsible for that. So yeah, I'm just saying, don't be afraid of an HOA. So you're saying this is why the HOA, you won't do the HOA because of the negative side foreclosure. So here's the thing. My mother had a property for 20 years that was in an area with an HOA. She just wasn't late on her HOA fees, you know? So the foreclosure happens because of that. Usually happens because of that. So I don't want to see an orange house. I'm an HOA girl. Yeah, look. Yes. And your HOA does the lawn. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So I'm just saying, don't be afraid of the HOA. All right, let's keep listening to this young lady.
Mortgage gone up this month?
Yeah, the people that I feel very sorry for is the fact that you would go and buy a property.
Okay, so again, shout out to this content creator, Dee's African Perspective. This is her. I'm going to pass by her. I'm going to come here to this young lady here so we can hear more TikToks.
I just cried on the phone with my HOA association. Like, y'all see my red eyes? Like, I am so overwhelmed. So let me tell y'all what happened, why I cried on the phone with my HOA. So my HOA assessments were sent out to me sometime last year. They wanted a big chunk amount that I did not have. So I reached out and I requested a payment plan. She gave me the form for the payment plan. I signed the form, sent it back. She then sent me back a payment plan. First amount was due January. Second amount was due in February, then March, then April. Okay. So I paid the January one early because the thing said you could pay on or before. So I paid it early. I paid the January payment in December, and then I paid the February one in January. So I'm like a month ahead, right? The next payment schedule is I skipped February because I already paid February in January. Skipped February, paid. I was getting ready to pay March last night, and then I see that I owe more. That they charged me an additional late fee, and I'm like, what's going on? I call. The lady's like, yeah, your account's delinquent. I said, what? Like, you've gotten half of my payment, like my amount. You've already gotten half. I'm on a payment plan. Like, it's not due to the end of this month. And she's like, you're not on a payment plan. Yes, I am. So I forward her the payment plan information. And she says, yeah, I sent this to you. She's like, but did you read all the way to the bottom? And I said, I mean, I read the part about when it was due, this and that. She's like, no, you.
Okay, ladies, listen to this very, very carefully. And this is not just a part of being a homeowner, but when you're doing business at all, whether it's a rental property, a mortgage, if you ever are, you need a modification on your mortgage, anything like that, you really need to read all of the information from top to bottom and be very careful, not just glancing at the payment information. So she's about to say what happened with her and her HOA. And this is a cautionary tale to all of us. And I am sorry that this is happening to her. I don't want to see anybody get in financial trouble, lose their home, etc. So tonight's discussion is also a cautionary tale of just some of the things we need to watch out for as we are purchasing houses. And hey, Mentor Shelley, I see you there. Hello. Donna Earth is saying, I just don't want to pay off my mortgage and have an HOA go 300 to 1500, especially if I'm retired. I can definitely understand that. All right, let's continue listening to this.
You had to sign it and send it back for me.
Okay, so I want to go back just a little bit here because what she's saying is important here.
She says, yeah, I sent this to you. She's like, but did you read all the way to the bottom? And I said, I mean, I read the part about when it was due, this and that. She's like, no, you had to sign it and send it back for me to be active. You didn't do that. And mind you, it was around Christmas, Thanksgiving, the holidays. I thought her sending me the payment plan. I sent the other form and signed that. I thought her sending me the payment plan was my payment plan being initiated. So that's why I'm late, because the system was, I didn't send back the form.
Okay, so ladies, couple of important things. Number one, when we're doing any kind of business, but especially business around our home or the apartments that we're renting, but especially around our home, you call for a payment plan. You call for a modification. You get the paperwork. This is something that my mother taught me. You sign whatever paperwork, you return it. You call and ask a customer service person, hey, can you check my account? I want to make sure everything is okay. And ladies, listen to me very clearly as I say this. Then you call back the next day and you speak to another separate individual and you ask the same question. Hey, I sent this paperwork in. I just want to make sure everything's okay. Am I on the payment plan, etc. My mother taught me this. Never, ever, ever depend on one person giving you information, because people will F up your account, will not look at things, etc. Never accept the first no, and never, ever just send something back and say this is handled. So this is a cautionary tale. This is not me ragging on this woman or anything. I feel horrible about what's happening to her. What can we learn from this? We can learn that if ever I'm in a situation like this, she said she signed one document, but she didn't sign the second one. Great. She signed one document, she returned it. Immediately, maybe that day or later, the next day, phone call. Hey, did you get my information? Am I on the payment plan? Is everything okay? Is my account okay? Let's say that first person says, yeah, no problem. It's okay. Great. Don't trust anybody. Don't trust the first person. Call back the next day. Speak to the next person. Especially if you're working in these larger places, especially if you're calling these larger HOA associations, call again. Hey, I'm just calling because I just want to make sure everything's okay with my account. Mentor Shelley saying it here. So always best to double check, because they will mess it up and they will blame it on you. And the problem is now unfortunately, she has to pay with dollars and cents for this. Samry is in the building. Hello. I hadn't checked my HOA portal for a few months and it was $10, $15 more than the auto payment I set up, and the penalty was $40. Yeah. Look, you gotta be on top of these things. Unfortunately, you do. But guess what? If you lived in an apartment building, And on the 5th, your rent is late. By the 15th, you may be out on your butt with no place to live. At least if you have a house, depending on where you live, you could be in that house for a year or two before they come looking for you, depending on where you live. So there's some time to catch up, ladies. There's time to catch up. And yeah, you're taking notes. Good. Always talk to another person or even 4 or 5 different people. Exactly. My mom always says that our HOA barely does anything, but will be the first one to find you when the lawn isn't mowed. Here's the thing. That's what the HOA is doing. They're making sure that the lawn is mowed. They are trying to keep those property values up. Get all confirmations in writing. Saving a 5-year-old email got me out of a $35K lawsuit. Absolutely. Get it in writing. Even just an email back. I was doing some business. We had some property. I was doing some business. I emailed the person. She emailed me back the ledger. I made the additional payment that needed to be made. I asked her to send me the ledger showing that the account was fully paid. You got to be on top of it, ladies. Yeah, it was Thanksgiving. Yeah, it was Christmas. I was busy, things like that. Unfortunately, those things don't fly. Minter Shelley saying, I learned this the hard way when dealing with my mother's condo association years ago after she died. Lesson learned. Yeah. Yeah. And these people are about their money.
The system did not log me as a payment plan person. Therefore, they charged me an extra $100 and something. And I literally was on the phone with her and I started crying. I said, I am overwhelmed. I said, I'm a first time single homeowner and I'm managing a lot of things. And I didn't realize that I was supposed to sign it. I thought I signed the other form saying I wanted the payment plan. I thought you sending me the payment plan schedule. I thought that was confirmation of it. Like, there's nothing you could do because you see that I paid the other 2 payments on time based on that payment plan. Like, there's nothing you could do. She's like, no. She's like, there's nothing I could do.
She probably wasn't a manager. You can ask sometimes if you're able to escalate things. Can we get a manager? Who's in charge? Can we get someone else involved? She seems like a fairly young lady as well. So my mother also taught me, who's the manager? Who is the manager? Can we get somebody else involved? Is there an office I could come to? Who else can I speak with? Also, if somebody says no, if the first person says no, call back the next day. Sometimes you get another customer service person that will knock off the late fee or things like that for you. Let's keep listening.
And so I just started crying and I said, I am overwhelmed. Like, you see that I was trying to pay. Like, you see in the system that I made payments. Like, and she's just like, there's nothing I can tell you. And I just was crying. I said, okay, no problem. And I got off the phone with her and I'm just like, like when you're trying to balance it all and do all the things and you miss something, you get mad at yourself, one, but then you're just overwhelmed because you just realize like so many things in this world aren't operating on grace or understanding. It's just these are the rules. It's just like you see in the system that you sent me a payment plan. You see that I started paying you based on that payment plan.
She said something important. She said, so many things in life do not operate on grace. That's true. They operate on business. They absolutely operate on business. So, yeah, we all have to understand business. Some folks don't care about your situation and the tears don't matter to them. That is true. Also, sometimes in these customer service jobs, you may talk to 20 people a day that are crying. 20 people a day that are saying, oh, my mom died, my dog died, I hurt my foot, things like that. Some of these people, a lot of these people, depending on the position that they have, get numb to people's tears and their situations and things like that. So they're like, yeah, whatever. That's nice that you have this story. I've heard that story from 8 other people today. And we do have to be crafty as women, absolutely. Shady part was how the penalty was charged. So you're $40 a month. Every month I didn't pay the full amount, and they didn't contact me. Yeah, they'll never contact you. They will never contact you. You just have, you all of a sudden just discover. That's why part of me is like, once I make enough money, part of me is just like, have some money on the side for like, oh, I effed up money, you know? But if you're super tight on your budget, like you have to be watching everything like a hawk. You have to be. They will say F your tears. They don't care. Their manager already trained them. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's keep listening.
And yet, because I didn't sign it to the back of the matter, I get that I was wrong. But sometimes it's like, man, like we can't, like why can't business also come in? And I get you don't want to be taken advantage of, but you see that I'm paying. I'm about to pay again this month. You can't just get rid of the late fee that I wouldn't have had if I had sent that form back. Like, oh Lord. Yeah, so overwhelmed, but it's gonna be okay because God is good.
It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. She will bounce back. I absolutely believe that. So I wanted to just share that with you. That I saw this. I saw some of the TikToks with regards to mortgages going up, and we just wanted to have this conversation. It's not the principal and interest in the mortgage. It's not the principal and interest in the mortgage. As long as you have a fixed rate mortgage, it's not the principal and interest. It is your taxes, your insurance, and your HOA fees. And keeping up with those things, and having a cushion, having a cushion, having some money saved to the side, making sure that you are increasing your income every year sufficiently. Inflation is a mug right now. But guess what? There are some people who bought their homes in the early 2000s that have $900 mortgages. And guess what? During COVID, they were sitting pretty. During this hyperinflation environment, they were sitting pretty with a $900 mortgage. And if their mortgage went from $900 to $1,000, oh well. So yeah, the taxes and insurance can throw you off if you're not careful. Absolutely. So be careful around new builds, ladies. If you are buying a new build property, be careful. Also, if your area is, if you have a lot of appreciation happening in your area, you can expect a higher tax bill. There was a Great Wolf Lodge that opened up near our home, and our appreciation of our home has gone up significantly. So we are dancing and singing and dancing about the equity that we have. Just know that the taxes are coming with it. The insurance is coming with it because you are insuring the value of your home. So if the value of your home goes up, your taxes are going to go up and your insurance is going to go up. That's business, ladies. So our income needs to go up. Or we need to have a side hustle that we're working that can put an extra $500 to $1,000 a month in our pockets. Or we buy a house where if we have to rent out the basement, we can do it. We can do it. So I also want to thank everybody for giving Melanin Meaning some great information with regards to her becoming a dentist. Thank you so much. I do see it in there, and I want to thank you all for that. So don't forget to hit the like button on the way out. Just wanted to have this discussion with you, ladies, and I will talk with you in the next video. Take care. Bye.